to the Python architecture, we have already discussed what compiled and interpreter is. So compiler, as we can say, it converts the entire abstract syntax tree. We'll see what is with the help of parser. No, what is parser? You have written your code. It will convert it into a comparatively simpler syntax, which is understandable to the computer. So, okay, so that is how it is. You write a code which is extremely high level, be it any language, be it Python, be it Java, be it JavaScript, or any language. So that code is very high level, that is understandable to human beings. That is basically English code. So that is understandable to human beings, but not understandable to computers. So what the parser does is it creates a syntax tree which is sort of understandable to computer, but not exactly understandable. So there comes the job of compiler. So what compiler does is it takes this abstract syntax tree and converts it into the Python bytecode. Now bytecode is something which, yeah, computers can sort of understand what exactly happens. So that is compiler. Interpreter kind of does the same thing, but it does it on a line by line basis. Compiler takes the whole code and then compiles it, and then the code gets executed. So this is how it is. Next thing, the features of Python. It is easy, it is expressive. As we said, it is open source, it is very high level, portable, object oriented. As you can see, all those points over here. So these are some of the features of Python. Now we have some Python frameworks which really make the job easy. For example, we have Web2Py, Bottle, Django, Tornado, Pylons, and Flask, which are some of the web frameworks which make the web development task for us very easy. Then we have SciPy, which is used for statistics and all those mathematical stuff. Then we have NumPy, which is again used for data analysis stuff. That NumPy basically stands for numerical Python. So we basically deal with numerical data with the help of NumPy. Next, flavors of Python. As we have discussed before, that the most widely accepted implementation of Python is CPython. But along with that, we also have other implementations of Python. For example, Jython, which is written in Java. Then we have Iron Python, which is written in C Sharp. Then we have Python, which is it stands for Browser Python. It is that implementation which runs in the browser. So there are some programming languages. I don't know if you have the idea that runs on the browser. So we have that sort of implementation of Python as well. So that runs in the browser. Currently, the C Python that runs on a compiler or an interpreter. So Python basically runs on browser. We have Ruby Python also, which is the Ruby version. We have PyPy, which is Python implemented in Python, but the base Python is again implemented in CPython. So the standard implementation is also CPython, but it's sort of works like that. We have Python, which is built on CPython. Then we have another Python, which is built on Python. That's little confusing, but you need not worry about that. Now we also have MicroPython, that is Python meant to run on a microcontroller. These are some of the applications of Python. We can build a website, develop a game, computer vision, machine learning, which is kind of trendy nowadays, enable robotics, web scraping, harvesting data from website. We collect huge amount of data using web scraping. Then data analysis, then automating web browser, basically automating everything using Python. Then we have perform scripting, perform scientific computing, artificial intelligence, etc. This is just a list because we cannot really fit all the applications of Python in this one particular site, but there are a hell lot of applications of Python. These are some of the companies which use Python, and this is a clear idea, and you can really understand what is the scope of learning Python programming. You have a hell lot of opportunities in companies like Netflix, Facebook, Instagram, NASA, and on and on. So why must you learn Python? As you might have seen in our Instagram post as well, we focused on one thing, that our course is for beginners. Now we cannot literally take anything and say, yeah, this is for beginners. Python has, that simplicity that we can introduce them to beginners like you. So it is very simple and concise and perfect for beginners. Large community. There is huge amount of community, lot of people on the web, lot of people everywhere who make use of Python every day. High demand supply ratio. There is a lot of demand for Python developers, but there are very few people, especially in India, who go with learning Python. So there is a high demand supply ratio. Also, as I said before, there are lot of web frameworks and other frameworks as well, which make your task easier. It is also preferred with for artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, etc., and all those things, which is basically automating everything, and that's quite fascinating. Lot of startups, corporates make extensive use of Python due to its powerfulness and simplicity. And just a year ago, Python replaced Java as the second most popular language on GitHub with 40% more pull requests open this year. If you know GitHub, GitHub is uh, like Git is basically that version control, and GitHub is basically one sort of repository where you store all of your code. Suppose you're working on a project, so you basically push that on GitHub. So that is one GitHub concept. So Python a few years back replaced Java as the second most popular language on GitHub, and there were 40% more pull requests open this year than last.